Yo, what's up guys? So we're going to be trying to recreate a really flat looking image, a style that Samuel Elkins, for example, does really well. It's pretty popular nowadays, so we're going to be trying to really flatten out our image and try to get a look like that. And I'm just going to be borrowing an image here, Jack Spencer Cross, so you guys can go follow him down in the description. We're going to be creating lots of content together, so go follow him, keep up with that, and let's just get straight into Lightroom. Here's our raw unedited image, and the first thing we'll do is enable profile corrections to get rid of that vignetting, and we will maybe bump up the shadows a bit, and we're gonna add in quite a bit of fade with the curve rather than up here, so I'm going to keep contrast in the middle here, and we'll add in the fade with the curves. Drop vibrance down. And the reason I brought the blacks down so much is because when you do this, you need a bit of extra blacks in there, otherwise you'll just lose all your contrast. So we'll keep it like that for now, and we will do the tone curves now, just chucking warmth. Okay, so that's the tone curves done. The shadows might look a little harsh still, but we'll bring out the shadows on his face. Otherwise, the background looks pretty good. So if you can see if I get rid of this curve, this is going to add in a lot of fade if you bring up those blacks and shadows, and then just a simple S curve, and not as harsh as usual because we don't want too much contrast. But you might ask, why add in contrast with the tone curves when you just want a flat looking image? But you want to do the S curve because if you don't, the colors won't shine through the flatness, and you'll just get a really flat looking image, and your colors will look flat as well. And you want to keep those colors shining through while keeping a flatness in the darks and the shadows and the highlights and stuff, while keeping all your colors shining through so you don't get it too flat. Right, so, and there's a difference between contrast here and contrast up here. So if you drop the shadows here, you're actually losing the detail. But if you work with them here, you're just the darkness of the area. And if you want to bring out and see more in the blacks, you want to work with this one, more detail in the blacks. If you want to fade, you want to work with this one. Okay, so let's just round that up. Let's add a bit of flatness to the highlights as well, because they also look really harsh. Highlights and whites. And shadows up a little bit. Okay, let's move on. We're looking pretty warm, but I'm thinking if we work in some HSL, we'll desaturate a lot of these colors. And then the hue, we want to change the tones of lots of these colors. So we don't want as orange and warm tones. So yellows can go that way. Same with the greens. Skin tone as well. And then just the brightness of some of these colors, and then we'll come in with brushes and touch up some of the shadows. Okay, and we'll just chuck in a bit of green. Okay, so I just want to come in with some brushes and filters and do some extra enhancements now. So do filters, and I've already gone about placing them all for this tutorial. So for this one, I want it to affect the outside, and I'm just going to drop the clarity. And that's just going to make the center of our image a bit sharper and stand out a bit more. Invert. We'll go with that. Right. And then if we grab our other one, I just want to bring out all the shadows on the face. Bring that up. Then let's keep going. Let's look at some brushes now. So for this brush, I want to bring down those highlights and make everything look a little more flat. So there's less contrast on his face. So highlights down. And then I might just keep a bit of sharpness in there. Right, and moving on for this one, we want to flatten it out even more, remove that contrast. Might bring down the whites a bit as well, even flatter. But then I'll just bring down the blacks a little, because then you keep the contrast in the darkest areas. I think that looks nice. Otherwise you look a little too flat. Right, and moving on, let's go to this one. So I just want a bit of, what I want, sharpness to the eyes. And brighten them just a touch. And then this one up here, I just want to smooth out a lot of the skin, so I'll drop it all the way down, I think. And then what you can do, if you can't go any further, just duplicate. But then there'll probably be too much, and then just bring it back to about there. And now just one final brush. I want to bring out our subject even more. So I'm just going to grab, well, I've already selected it. And what we'll do here is just a bit of exposure. If I show you the selected areas, here we will brighten him up. Touch of contrast. And that's good. And we have most of them selected there. I come back up and drop those blacks a bit more. And then if you look at the histogram, you can see that the blacks aren't touching black and the whites aren't touching the white. And you know, you got a pretty flat looking image there. And yeah, we might want to bring down the blacks a little more. And what I'll do is just save that as a preset. So you just come over here. And it's cut off from the recording. But I will call it flat. Fade. And then everything you want. So you don't want filters. And then hit create. And then if I go get another image with different lighting, hit flat fade, bring up the shadows a bit, enable profile corrections. And you get a pretty nice fade looking image with the blacks nice and high and those whites down a bit. And then a little bit of contrast through the colors. And yeah. That's it, guys. If you're liking these tutorials, you guys comment who you guys want to see, because I go through all the comments and then reach out to people on Instagram to send in their photos to do a tutorial. And yeah, check out the presets, guys. Tons of value in there. Currently giving away my entire collection of presets. And yeah, leave a like, leave a comment. Catch ya in the next one.